Obviously, you're a very creative person, but let me talk about what I think is one of your biggest flops.
Oh
And it
yeah.
was one of your merch ideas where it was just like silhouette of a cow.
Yeah.
And it's just your name.
Yeah, it didn't work. I didn't sell any.
Hello, my name is Christian Lee. I'm here for Earworm Digital, and we're here with.
Carter Vail. Do I say my name?
That's you. That's you. Yeah, you got it. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yes.
I think we're a little bit similar way. Like, have you ever seen BoJack Horseman?
I have seen clips of it. I've never
Okay.
seen like a full episode.
Well, there's like this one character named Mr. Peanut Butter, and like he's like the dog, and he's just like super friendly. Like on the surface, at least, he's like super friendly and like like make a lot of friends. Everything. I feel like we're saying very very extroverted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do give off a little bit golden retriever energy.
I've been told that so many times. I think that's like my spirit animal. I feel like I give like good family dog vibes. Like good around kids, not yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you're good around kids too.
Kids.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why I had to be like, don't worry, I'm sick around kids. Kids fucking love me.
Yeah, but how are you doing today?
I'm good. I got a late start today. Had a little bit of a party last night, and so I'm recovering.
Really?
I'm in recovery.
Can you tell us more, or is that too personal?
I mean, it was just we were having some Moscow mules. It was only like 8 people over.
Oh, here. Okay.
Yeah, over here. But
in the Carter Vail compound, yeah.
In the Carter Vail compound, yeah. in my yeah, it was a good time, and now I'm just paying for it today. So
doesn't that suck? Like when you just get like in college, you drink.
Yeah.
Like you would get a few hours of sleep, but next day no hangover. But now it just hurts.
I know. My I used to be able to like when I was like in high school, I was like, like so many high school kids, I'd be able to just like freaking drink 12 beers and be like, oh, this is awesome. Now I have like 2 drinks and I'm like, whoa, let's all calm down. Like if I can't drink like that anymore. But I drink way less frequently as well now. So
that's funny. Quick question: have you ever seen like any of my previous interviews before?
Yeah, I saw clips of. I watched the Mickey Darling.
Oh
one.
Yeah. That's cool. All right. Well, usually we have some surprises, and what you just said, we have a surprise for you. Brandon, open door, police, come in. You just talked about underage drinking.
Yeah, how much editing do you do for these?
Really all of him. Let's see. Sometimes I do some editing stuff too. It depends.
No,
Usually, I like doing just having it as conversations. Doing it as it is. Right. Only when it's like pretty bad. I'm like, okay, like this is just like a nothing burger. Why keep this in? We'll cut it out. Like I'm exactly doing right now, where I'm just talking.
So have there's been some bad interviews? You think? Have you had any ones that are like, oh yikes, not this one?
There's only one bad one like I did in college.
Okay.
With this. Yeah, I'll say.
No.
This band called
Okay.
They were like Australian band. Like they were really good, but I think it was just because we before like now we've been doing mainly like interviews with people like at people's homes or like like at coffee shops or parks.
Sure.
Shout out to you. Thanks for letting us film in the compound.
Yeah.
But
I like calling it the compound.
It's funny.
Yeah.
But a lot of time we used to do it like when they were like on the road, like we do it like before the show or after.
Oh, okay.
And so sometimes like they're just like on the road jet lagged or whatever.
Yeah, they're thinking about other stuff.
Yeah, so sometimes the interview doesn't go well, but for the most part, like I would say it's like 90, at least above 95% like
That's
hit
good.
rate. The interviews are
Yeah,
always really good.
That's a good batting average.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
a really good batting average. Yeah,
fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You're crushing it.
Thank you. And you're crushing it too. Like I know, obviously we're here because you couldn't tell just from like the backdrop we have already. You're a musician.
Yes.
You're here for music, and I think the first song I heard about you, actually before I found out, because I found out about you. This is just in context for the people talking, like for the interview, but we talked a little bit offhand, yeah. But I saw you through Benny Gus, but I actually did have one of your songs on Discover Weekly, like Melatonin.
Oh yeah.
Good song.
Thank you. Yeah, that must have been a while ago.
Yeah.
Because that was that came out in like 2018.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the first song I put out that I thought was like, oh, this is like a real song. And
for you, what's been the most fun song for you to write?
Most fun song?
Mm-hmm.
I have a song. Well, I've been a lot of the new project, Interstellar Tennis Championship Volume 2, is co-written with my roommate Noah.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite songs on that record, which comes out September 26th, it's called Here It Goes Again, parentheses, Welcome to the Interstellar Tennis Championship. It's the first song on the record. And that was just so much fun to make. It's kind of like it feels like a little like 70s vibe, but then it's like lyrics are kind of funny, but it was a really fun one to make.
Okay. And just hearing you talk, I was just thinking in my head, this is not fair, It's like, when my first impression of you, it's like, oh, I thought you were just an influencer, but you make good music. It's not fair. You have it all. Like, good looking, jacked,
yes,
funny,
thank you. Yes,
a musician.
Keep going.
But, it's just like, dang.
Thanks, man.
That's
I
life,
appreciate
wow.
it. Well, yeah, I think there's plenty of bad shit too. I just hide it behind the surface.
We're bringing it all out right now.
Yeah, get the cops back in here.
But how did you start your way into music, though?
I started doing music because I played guitar from a really young age, and I never thought it was like an option for like doing it as a career.
Yeah.
But then when I was like applying to colleges, I was going to go for engineering.
Oh yeah.
And my dad's like always been a big, like, me doing music. He's like, that's the coolest shit in the world.
That's cool. That's
which
cool.
I'm super lucky.
Parents, yeah.
Oh my God, having it. I'm so impressed by the people that are able to like coming from places where they're like, you can't fucking do that, and they're like, fuck you, I want to do it anyway. Is it okay that I'm swearing?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. Because I think if I had a bunch of people being like, there's no way. There's no way I would have done it.
Yeah.
I would have been like, yeah, you're right.
Haters aren't your motivators, huh?
Yeah.
You need the support.
And so my parents were like, when I was applying to colleges, they were like,
because the school you went to has a good music program, right?
Yeah, I went to Frost School of Music, and I studied audio engineering. And I thought I was gonna do like just the engineering side of stuff. Like when I got out of college, I worked at a a guitar pedal manufacturing place for a while.
I think I read an interview you did for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. And I was like, this is a fucking nightmare. And they were all like, they were nice enough people, but they were like heavily Christian and like, and like, yeah, I don't know. They just said some like wild shit about like gay people, and I was like, this is not the vibe. And so I quit after. It was in Nashville, so like, I mean, there's some weird energy there anyway. But yeah, so I quit that, and I was like, man, I can't fucking do that. And then I just started doing like production for other people and made like no money on it. But I was living with like 3 other people, and we paid nothing in rent. Just ate eggs and black beans for every meal, and it was just like,
also that was real then.
Oh yeah, constantly, like I like 18 eggs a day. It was disgusting. But it was like so much fun because it was just like the 4 of us being like, what are we gonna do today, and like how are we gonna figure this out? And so yeah, it just kind of trickled, and then the artist stuff started like working more. Like through all that, I was like making my own music. Yeah, but kind of no one cared about it. And then it just starting to work, and it's like, oh shit, people are starting to like this, and just kind of I feel like I'm just kind of falling upwards the whole time.
I mean, better than falling downwards. That's falling flat. True. Yeah, that's true.
Still gearing up for that. I'm like, all right, at some point the other shoe's gonna drop, and we're gonna. But
well, hopefully you have a cushion to soften the blow.
Yeah.
If that ever happens.
Oh yeah.
But. So yeah, you said you were in Nashville because I didn't get after college. You and like your roommates and like your people that you collaborate with. You all moved to Nashville together, and then you said you didn't wouldn't have the best time there. But why'd you guys move there in the first place? Because I know like LA, obviously, and New York. I think both too. Yeah, I guess Atlanta for rap. All hotbeds for music, and I know Nashville is one. But
yeah, Nashville is cool. I think we moved there because it was like a music city, and this like recording studio culture there is like, like, oh yeah, you can like make a recording studio and like book it out every day and like do that thing. And so we were like, oh, that's gonna be fucking crazy. I moved there with my band. These 3 other, actually Andre, who's one of my other roommates now, we lived in Nashville together, and he ended up moving out here with me. But something about Nashville is just like, oh yeah, you can like live not super expensively and there are so many people trying to make music that you can like, if you kind of know what you're doing, people will come to you and be like, yeah, like let's make a record. And so that's how we decided on Nashville. And I lived there for probably 3 years, and then I was like, all right, I gotta go to LA. That's where
I mean, all of you guys like, let's move to LA together too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, two of the band is still out in Nashville.
Oh, really?
So
okay.
every time we like have a show, I have to be like, hey guys, gotta fly you out to Los Angeles, and I'm trying to convince them to come out here and like move here because they're unbelievable people and they're great musicians and they do so great out here. But like one of them's got family out there, the other one's got like there's a lot of stuff going on out there for them.
And you talk about two of the bandmates, and like I guess you guys still do shows under the name of Ladytown?
No, not anymore. That was just in college. God. Ladytown was our college band, same lineup.
Uh-huh.
But then when I got to Nashville, I was like, all right, now I'm doing like Carter Vail stuff. I'm impressed that you found Ladytown. I thought I buried Ladytown. Yeah.
But that was funny. Anyways, what the heck? Oh,
tambourine.
Okay. So far, great banter. We're talking. You're good.
Thanks. Yeah, out of 10, how are we doing?
yeah. I'm pretty like 10 out of 10.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I can tell hey, you look like someone that could run a podcast.
I do run a podcast.
Yeah, tell us more about that.
Oh,
so
gosh.
The Interstellar Tennis podcast. Right?
The Interstellar Tennis podcast.
And I'm just happy you're not wearing your usual bandana for this.
Yeah, my headband.
Headband.
Yeah, actually, that's right here. My headband. I was told by some people at my label, because I wore this for like 8 years at every show, and like every show and every video I was doing, I would wear this bandana, and then someone from my label was like, you gotta cut that shit out. You look like an idiot. I was like, yeah, that's fair. I've been getting that comment for a long time. It's like, hey man, lose the fucking bandana. But the podcast is fun. I just, I have a lot of time on my hands, so like I just fucking, set up mics. Like that's where we film it now. I have the mics always set up.
Oh, that's nice.
Wish I know it's
a nice setup.
It's fun.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it's just me talking fucking shit for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the least informative and probably bottom 20% entertaining podcasts. It's not a good podcast, but I have a fun time making it.
At least it's not like near the bottom, So it's something.
Oh no, it's real near the bottom. I'm saying it's like there's 80% of podcasts are more.
But at least you're not, the bottom 10.
Oh, it could be. I'm giving myself a lot of leeway with 20. I could be the worst.
No. There's no way you're the worst.
Yeah, there's got to be.
I'll stand by that.
I mean, statistically, there's got to be some fucking bad podcasts out there.
Has to be some bad ones.
Yeah. Are you a big podcast listener?
Yeah, it's like driving. It's just nice.
Yeah.
And like when you're working too, or like working out, it's like cool.
Oh yeah. What podcast do you listen
to? Usually like NPR or like some comedy podcasts too.
Cool.
Because I mean, I don't know, I'm not kind of a lighthearted dude, so I'm like, it's like outside of the NPR stuff, it's hard to do like some serious stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I listen to The Daily sometimes.
Yeah, The Daily. I love The Daily.
Love The Daily, but then I get like I can't listen to like more serious stuff after that. Like I'll hit The Daily and then be like, "Oof, all right, let's relax on all that."
I know it's not their fault, but when like they just every time they're just talking about like the Russian and Ukrainian war.
Yeah,
I'm just like, okay, like I need some like new topics. I'm like, of course it's important.
Yeah,
but I'm like
super important. I have a small amount of time that I can listen to that before I'm just like, yikes, what the fuck? Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff.
Yeah,
The Daily's great. I also love the like names on NPR.
Yeah,
it's all like the Ira Glass and Satirius Johnson. It's just like wild names.
You ever think about how just like conversations with people? It's just like podcast unrecorded,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But at this point, if you're having a conversation, monetize that shit. Put it on a podcast.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Someone sent me a meme the other day, and they're like, it was something to the effect of the only way a guy will talk about their feelings is if it's on a podcast.
Yeah.
It's like there's every conversation that's at all serious is like, oh, guys will just be like, oh, let's make a podcast about it. I do, yeah. This is my second attempt at a podcast. I had a podcast back in Nashville, and it was even worse. It was fucking bad. But one day I'll figure out the podcast game one day.
I mean, I think this part is good, but I think Brandon probably has to cut out like a good amount of this interview.
Okay.
It's crazy. We're talking about like just a lot of random stuff. Let's talk about the music.
Yeah, go
So
for
when
it,
you were
go for it.
growing up, what type of music did you listen to?
I really loved Counting Crows.
Really?
Yeah, I was like big into the Counting Crows. I think
that's the name I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah, right. It's like, I mean, the main guy from Counting Crows is still making music, still making really good stuff, but his like lyricism. I remember listening to his music early on, and I was like, whoa, lyrics can be anything. Like that's crazy.
That is crazy, huh?
And I was just like, I thought it was amazing, and also he has a bunch of references to circuses in like a lot of his songs. And that part of it, I was just like, whoa, songs can be like self-referential. And like you can have a discography of songs and all of them can be like, oh yeah, like talk about one thing the whole time. And I was like, that's amazing that it can like, you can reference your own stuff all the time. So now I have a bunch of music that's like very self-referential. Like I quote my own songs in my other songs.
That's pretty good.
And every once in a while someone will be like, oh, is that a quote from Andrew? And I'm like, yeah, someone paid attention. Yeah.
Well, they like Easter egg for fans.
What was that?
Easter egg for the fans. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. Every once in a while. But then for I mean, 99% of the people listening they'd never like pick up on it. Yeah. But sometimes someone's like, yeah, that's cool.
Like, yes. The real ones.
Yeah, the real ones. Exactly.
Oh, okay, so Counting Crows. And then I think it's really cool too because, you know, like you said, like you listen to Counting Crows, you're like, wow, like music could just be like really about ending. It could be super creative. And I think from your Instagram too and TikTok, but I think mostly because your Instagram's more popping off. It's just like your reels. They're very creative too.
Thank you.
Just the way you do music. And like, how do you come up with some of those ideas? Like, for example, I saw the one about the cowboy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was like, wow, like what an idea.
It's funny, the ones that do really well, the ones that people think are actually funny are the ones that take the least amount of time.
Yeah.
So, because like with that one, I was just like, oh, it'd be funny to like make the whole like bit is just like my mom was a boy and my dad was a cow.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's a pretty simple fucking, like there's not much to it. But the way I generally do it is like, I try to make stuff every day. And I think like anything else, it's just kind of a muscle that if you continuously show up and try to be creative, it gets easier and easier. But then as soon as you like take a month, if I take like a couple weeks off, then I get back to my computer and I'm like, ooh, no idea how to do this anymore. I don't know how to write music.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's just, I think just getting on like a hot streak and like as long as you don't stop doing it, you can make stuff forever.
Wow. Okay.
In my opinion.
I mean, I guess, yeah, I've never really thought of it that way. Like just being like, you know, creative, like putting out stuff, like even if some are sinkers, you know, just putting out stuff, you know, you're getting like the traction and everything. I guess it's similar to like, you know, going on a diet or like working out.
Yeah. It's all like just the consistency. And yeah, like I'd say like 60, maybe not 60%. Maybe I'm being a little harsh. I think maybe like 40% of the stuff I make is really bad. But it's just like, yeah, you got to clear out the like dirty water before you hit the like clean water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't always have that caviar, you know. Sometimes you gotta eat slop from the trough, you know.
Gotta eat the trough slop.
Yeah.
Exactly. Gotta dive in.
But you know, we've been doing a lot of banter, and I can tell you're obviously very friendly. I'm wondering, you think we could be pals?
We can be pals. We already are pals.
There.
Absolutely. Are you kidding me?
And the thing I like to do for my pals is give them gifts. So I have some gifts for you.
Oh my gosh.
First one you didn't name, but I heard they are a big influence on you. Is wait, let me move this out the way. I remember the cameraman told me I should move the mic out for the noise. But it's the National.
Oh my fucking god! I love the National. This is amazing. This is actually for me.
That's for you.
Get the fuck out of here!
Until the camera's off, then I take it back.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be a mean trick. I absolutely love the National. There was a long time when I just wrote music that was a direct ripoff of the National. I think Matt Berninger is one of the most talented songwriters around. That's amazing. Yeah, the National is the best. And also now they're getting like so much more traction just because like they did this stuff with Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Taylor Swift was on their latest album.
Yeah, and it's amazing because like they've been like the indie darling for a long time, and now they're just fucking exploding.
I know.
It's like, that's awesome. And I think they're all like in their 40s or something.
Crazy, yeah.
That's fucking awesome. And like they're doing this shit with Taylor Swift. Desner, one of the guitar players, like, producing fucking everything. God, they're so talented. This is awesome. This is so cool. Yeah, the System Only Dreams in Total Darkness. That's one of my favorite songs by the National. God damn. That's so cool. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Wow.
But that's just one of two.
Oh,
because
two?
I know, because you're. Yeah, I guess it's okay to dox you a little bit. You're born.
Yeah, give my address.
Yeah. You're born in Connecticut.
Yeah.
And I know this person is big in around the region you're from, and it's Bruce Springsteen.
Oh my gosh, I love Springsteen. Golly, Atlantic City. Yeah. Atlantic City is one of the greatest songs, I think. Period. Like the band did a cover. This is so. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
The band did. The band did a version of the song Atlantic City, and that was the first time I heard that song, and then I realized it was written by Springsteen. And I was like, whoa, fucking Bruce Springsteen's out here making every good song ever. Like he also wrote he wrote Blinded by the Light. Like he just, yeah. Hot take, Bruce Springsteen is good at songwriting.
Like, someone had to say it. Yeah. Someone had to say it.
Everyone's fucking first guy to say that, huh? Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Yeah. That's so cool. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Springsteen's solo acoustic triumph includes Atlantic City, Johnny 99, and Open All. This is his solo acoustic triumph. Wow.
That's good stuff. It's good
stuff. Yeah, that's perfect. This is great because having these in the studio will make people think I'm much more like cultured than I am.
Yeah, just hang it up somewhere.
Yeah, I'll put them up and people will be like, oh, fuck, that guy has records.
Oh, the National Bruce Springsteen.
Oh my God.
This dude knows his stuff.
Guy loves rock and roll. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Cool. Yeah.
And now that we're friends,
yeah,
we're gonna take the next step. Yeah, best friends.
Best
yeah,
friends.
Thank you, best friends. You heard it on camera.
Trying to move in. We have an extra room.
Ooh, I did hear about it. Yeah, well, we'll talk. But now that we're friends, I'm gonna do a little bit of a friendship quiz. Okay. I'm gonna bring up some stuff and let's see if you remember it.
Okay.
Okay. First one is you did talk about your podcast.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about your first podcast because I see that you have a little mat right there.
I do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Happy Campers.
Happy
Look
Campers.
How dirty it is.
It's pretty bad. But you did have your first one was the Happy Camper podcast, right?
Happy Camper recording podcast. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
and you said that was not good at all.
I think it was really bad, but also we had like 8 people on it all the time, and like a podcast with 8 people, like that's no good. Mm-hmm. That's too many fucking voices. Yeah. But yeah, Happy Camper recording podcast.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Back then you had 2 more voices. Now it's just one voice.
Now it's one. Sometimes I'll have a guest. Yeah. But yeah, I do the one guest at a time. Mm-hmm. Much more responsible. Yeah.
And, I mean, because I've seen in some of I don't know off the top of my head, but like I know because like the recent reel you did, because Ben's been doing a lot too. It's like you have it yourself.
Yeah.
You're not doing like just interviewing yourself.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I gotta get back on that. I
that'd be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's the perfect setup to do a interviewing myself kind of thing. I did back in the day. I did something like that. I interviewed myself, and I called it "Keeping It Saucy." It was a fake interview show of me interviewing myself. Yeah,
that's funny, and like it's a great place to do sessions and everything. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people have done sessions here. But what can you tell me about the Canvas section? Canvas
sessions.
Yeah.
Oh man, Canvas sessions was a live. Well, back in the day, I was like much more into producing for other people and like engineering. And I really liked all like the tech behind it. And so in college, I did live videos for all of our friends. And like I did one for Ben back when he was in a band called the Stepdads.
That was a good one.
That was fun. And then I did like just all my friends. It was fun. It was a good time. And we rented out the studio from our college, and it was a great studio. And yeah, I think I look back at it sometimes, and I'm like, wow, that shit kind of slapped. Like we were doing some cool stuff, and then we ruined it all. Yeah,
that's funny. And then also because tell me another time in college. I think we'll put like a photo of this like indie interview. I noticed downstairs you have that painting. Can you tell me more about it? The charcoal painting.
Yeah, how did Ben tell you about that painting?
Tell me more about it.
Okay. When I was in college, I don't know if my roommate will want me to tell. Yeah,
just you and your
matter.
Roommate.
Yeah, me and my roommate went to a party I think I was newly single. I was like,
okay,
and like probably getting like way too messed up. And we went to this party, and I was talking to this girl who, she was like, yeah, I'm an artist, and me and my roommate were like, me and my roommate were like, oh, could you draw us naked? And she was like, yeah, absolutely. And we were like, oh fuck, are you serious? And she was like, yeah. And she pulls out this canvas and like an easel, and we go to the back of this party. We're just like outside
it's at the
in
party.
Miami.
Oh, okay, outside.
Yeah. Like the whole party was outside, and so we just like went into like the shrubs and got naked, and she drew us. And she was actually a good artist. And then these two other people came by, and they were like, are you getting drawn naked right now? And we were like, yeah. And they were like, can we jump in? And we were like, all right. And then yeah, it ended up being 4 of us in a charcoal painting. Weird night. Yeah. But now it's hanging, and it looks like kind of a fancy painting, or like
it does.
It looks like I could have bought that at like
yeah.
But it's me and some of my friends.
And let's talk a little bit about creativity more.
Sure.
Obviously, you're a very creative person, but let me talk about what I think is one of your biggest flops.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was one of your merch ideas where it was just like silhouette of a cow.
Yeah.
Just your name.
Yeah, it didn't work. I didn't sell any.
What was the thought process behind that?
I'm not a very visual person.
Okay.
And so I was like trying to figure out how to do merch. And on my family crest, there's a cow, or there's a bull. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, it'd be kind of cool if it was just like, if like my thing. I was trying to figure out like fucking bad idea. Fucking terrible. And I made these shirts, and I had like a bunch of them, and no one ever bought. I mean, I gave them to like my family.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, yikes. I've done a couple merch flops. There's been a couple of, I don't know if I've ever had like I have some new merch coming out now.
Yeah, I can't wait
that
for that.
I'm stoked about. But there's been some not good stuff.
You think there's gonna be Vail headbands?
Yeah, I have a bunch of headbands.
Hell yeah. That's great. Great idea then.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about having like serious merch.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, I got someone to actually like design it this time, and it's like, whoa, shit! This is like, that makes sense why people hire people for that shit. Yeah. They'll just throw a cow on a T-shirt and be like, it's me. Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about some flops. We talked about how you said your former podcast was like, what, like bottom, like,
oh yeah,
if we're being generous, bottom 20%. Yeah,
that's generous.
Well, let's talk about the very bottom. Let's talk about the basement.
Oh my god. My band? Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah. How the fuck did you hear about the basement? That was my band in high school. 3 of my dear friends, Ethan Michael, Luke Rizzo, and Tyler Miraboli. And we used to practice in
full names, okay.
Yeah, full names. Addresses too. Yeah, they're all wonderful people. They're back in actually one of them was out in California, but they're all around. And yeah, it was just so much fun. And I remember we had this, like, our manager was just our other buddy named Ryan Sullivan.
Of course. I was in high school, yeah.
Yeah. And he fucking, every time we had a practice, he'd show up. Our drummer would text him and be like, we're having a rehearsal right now, because he didn't want to practice. And Ryan would come to the basement and be like, you guys want to get Chipotle right now? And I'd be like, we have to fucking rehearse. And everyone would be like, but we could get Chipotle. And we weren't good. We were bad. But it was fun. We had a great time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had a couple shows that were like 3 hours long. And we just like we knew 7 songs. And we just like played them over and over. It was not good.
Not even covered. Just the same song over.
Yeah, just we sucked. It was fun. We had a really good time.
And now look at you. Now you're making music that's good and fun.
Good and fun. That's I think if you can have music that sounds good and is fun, you're golden. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think people take music making really seriously a lot of the time, and it's so much fun to like just make stuff that's not serious. Yeah. And then when you try to make serious stuff after like doing a bunch of like kind of, silly stuff, it's so easy. You're like, you just make stuff. You can't take it all that serious.
Well, Thanks for doing this interview, Carter. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks so much for having me. I had a blast.
I know, me too.
And now we're best friends.
Yeah, we're best friends.
It's great.
But before you turn off the camera, though, what do you have to plug? Your social media, new music coming out,
yeah,
show, like what merch, like what do you have to say?
When does this interview?
Whenever you want it to be out.
Wow. Well, I have a record coming out.
Okay.
In September 26th, and it's called the Interstellar Tennis Championship, Volume 2, which I'm really excited about. And then there is, the merch. Merch should, the pre-orders for merch should come out next week.
Cool. Excited to see it.
Yeah, I think those are the two things I'd like to plug. When go pre-save the album, go pre-order the merch.
Pre-save and pre-order.
Pre-order, yeah. It's all like hypothetical stuff.